Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. We are diving into a brand new review today. Yes, I am talking about the new film, Brightburn. Look, it's no secret that this is basically just a dark Superman movie. While it's not from DC Comics, the whole idea of an alien crashing down from a farm as a little boy and growing up with powers is pretty obvious. But this plays like a great Elseworld story. Not just a ripoff of DC, but an alternate universe. If you don't know, Elseworlds are DC stories that aren't in their main canon. Like if you want a story where Bruce Wayne dies and like his parents live, Elseworlds. So I think Brightburn plays like one of those alternate reality stories. It's a familiar story. We know this kind of Superman superhero journey. You know, a little boy grows up with powers, but we've never seen it this dark. We've never seen it take it this route before, and I think it's a refreshing new spin on a superhero story that I happen to enjoy. Yes, I did enjoy Brightburn. Do I think it's a flawless movie? Do I think it's a 10 out of 10? No, but this movie was an enjoyable experience. It's something refreshing. It's something new. This movie is not for everyone though. If you like your superheroes pure or you don't like violence, this isn't for you. But for horror fans, or fans of like dark-sided things, or a darker side of comic books, you will eat this up. This movie is really grim, it's really brutal, it's just kind of bleak as well. There's no happy ending, not everything's cleaned up in a nice little fancy bow. Brightburn really does what it needs to do, is telling a dark, morose story without holding anything back. Maybe that is the beauty of this not being an official DC movie. You can go darker, you can go more brutal, you can have all of this violence. You see what happens when they go something a little bit darker like Batman v Superman or even Man of Steel. Audiences reject it. They're not used to their familiar stories being twisted that much. So a movie like Brightburn has so much advantage being outside of that DC canon, so they can play. They can have a dark, good time, and I really enjoy it. I really fell in love with this family as well. The Breyer family is believable, with Elizabeth Banks carrying the bulk of this film. I mean, from the opening scene when Brandon comes crashing down, I was sold on Banks in this movie, and she does not disappoint when she carries the bulk of this. You see all the weight of her having to deal with a child that's not hers, it's hers, she raised him, but she knows he's not right. She knows the history of him, crashing down. She knows that something's a little wonky, but she really refuses to accept it, and I really thought that was an interesting take. We don't really get to see Ma Kent have to be like, cool, my baby Clark isn't my baby anymore, now he's like Superman. We really get to see her go, oh cool, have fun, be a superhero. We don't really get to see someone go, oh, you're a little bit twisted, a little bit weird, but I still love you. I thought that was such a good take, and that's kind of the biggest takeaway from me. So we have all of that Elizabeth Banks family drama that sells me in, and that's, the tension with the two parents kind of choosing a side of like, he's scary, oh no, he's my son. That interpersonal drama is scary, but what really comes out and what really shines in this movie is the pure, raw horror in this. Like, I mean, there's gore, there's violence, there's some really good intense moments. I mean, early on, there's a scene where Brandon's powers are beginning to emerge, and he's like looking for the spaceship, and he's in this like frantic state. He's like a savage animal, and it's chilling. I mean, it only gets worse from there with the violence picking up, his scares, his twistedness showing a little bit. Oh my god, there's an eyeball scene in this that makes me think of like Fulci's Zombie 2, which is like an old 70s zombie movie, where something hangs out in the eye. Oh, it's so disgusting. There's a jaw unripped off. There's just a lot in here that I'm like, as a horror fan, I was not expecting them to go that route. This is done by James Gunn, who's done Slither and the Belko Experiment, so I expected a little bit of gore, but not this. Again, I guess it's being that familiar DC Superman story. I was like, okay, I know this. Oh no, I do not know this. I've not seen Superman really lobotomize somebody in live action, but that happens here. Such good horror, such good violence. That is another strong point in this movie. It's not all positive, because this movie does have some negatives. It takes a little bit to start up. I was like, the first 30 minutes, maybe because I'm used to the story or the pacing of the movie just drags a little bit, but it doesn't really pick up until around like the 40-minute mark. And then once like 40 minutes in, it is just a non-stop ride from there. But before that, I was kind of like, this is typical. The dialogue isn't anything groundbreaking or new. That's, I'm not going to give this like I said, it's not a 10 out of 10 movie, but it's not a 5 out of 10 either. It's a solid middle of the road movie, and like I said, the pacing, the dialogue, the script isn't the strongest, and that's what brings it down. Though a stronger script really could have brought this movie up into top tier horror, superhero, a new take on something like that. So yeah, just a little bit of polishing that script really could have made this movie a little bit better. Alright everyone, that is it for my review of Brightburn. I really enjoyed this film. This is one that I think, I reviewed Detective Pikachu earlier, I think a sequel could really expand and make this movie even better. I enjoyed it, but I think there's a better movie deep down inside. I cannot wait to talk about this more with you guys. We're still a little bit away from the release, so there's going to be no spoilers in this, so if you have happened to see it yet, do not spoil in the comments, but let me know what you thought of this down in the comments below. What do you think of the idea of Brightburn? Let's talk about that down below. Also, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I make videos like this every single week, and also give me a thumbs up, because YouTube takes those very seriously. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and let's talk about Brightburn in the comments below.